Day 14. I made it to day 14. I know it's been a while since I checked in with you guys. So I decided, since I have this much energy, that I will check in. I really thought about putting on some lashes, some earrings, and some, gloss, but that's not reality. So y'all gonna get this crooked bun, these dry lips, and my truth. Okay? Day 14. Whew. I'm better than day 1. Okay? I'm definitely better than day 1. I think the most aggravating part of this process has been my drain, mainly because I feel it and I just don't like it. I understand the purpose of it. I know why it's inserted in me. I signed up for this, but I just don't like it. Last night I had some issues with clogging, and I immediately went into swelling, which is very uncomfortable. I damn near had an anxiety attack, but then I had to remind myself I signed up for this. So I reached out to my doctor. She advised me what I should do. And today I feel better with the drain. Again, I want to be very, open about this process so people can understand what you're going through. Again, and I'm going to always repeat this statement over and over again. I signed up for this. But it doesn't change the part of the journey that you're on. You go through a lot of feelings. So right now on day 14 for me has been a little emotional because you just go through a lot of different feelings like guilt, loneliness, just freaking baby, as a Leo, I'm already emotional. Anyway, without having nothing, just on a regular day, I will cry on a commercial. So, my inability to move like I want to. I walk kind of hunched over because I don't want to stretch my incision. My lipo on my back, baby, she went in. Lipo hurts. I'm not gonna say hurt. Lipo is the most uncomfortable part of the process. My tummy tuck and my incision, baby, I don't feel none of that. And I have whole staples in my stomach. I don't feel any of that. The lipo, honey. And then on top of that, I have sciatic. I hope I said that right. Nerve issues in my leg. So that's been my biggest issue amongst me having to say that's been my issue because I'm hunched over walking. My leg, but this is what I signed up for. People are constantly asking me about my body, how my body. Yeah, I don't care about what my body looking like right now. And it's crazy because, as you guys know, I went to DR with 4 people. Well, 3 people. It was 4 of us. We're all at different levels, different stages of our healing. I have one that's, baby, she's trying on clothes, living her best life, checking out her body every day. I have another one who rolls out the bed. She could barely get in the bed. My other friend is back to working like, and here I am, just trying not to sleep all day. So, that's day 14. Now, the real reason I wanted to come on here, I told you guys I was going to do a DR versus Miami video. So, I'm going to go over my opinion on my experiences in Miami versus my experiences in DR. So, I had my first round in December of 2019. That was a 360 lipo and a BBL. I went with Spectrum Aesthetics, and Dr. DeJesus was my surgeon. Great, based upon your research and the things that you might see and read. My experience with them, and I've stated a million times, it was great. They set the standard, my standard of, what I thought was a standard. I had to have a release from a physician, a complete blood count. My communication with them was excellent. Anytime I reached out to my coordinator, anybody was always very responsive to me. The day that I arrived, I had my post-op, my pre-op appointment. I was fitting to my faja. I paid my balance, and then I waited 2 or 3 days to go into surgery. I arrived at the facility at 5:30. That's when I finally met Dr. DeJesus. I went over my expectations. She was very thorough of what she could provide for me, and if she can meet the expectations that I had, which I really didn't have that much. I just wanted a waist. That was my That's why I kept telling her, I just want a waist. I want you to create something that I can move forward to, because I went into that situation knowing that I would need a round 2. So at that time, I was already researching Dr. Almonte. Well, when a friend of mine, literally, her coming back from DR was the confirmation that I was going to Dr. Almonte in DR. I just didn't know when, but I knew that eventually I would go. Fast forward to like August of this year. I have a friend of mine who is, baby, you mentioned an idea to her? She pushing you over the bank. Okay. I was like, well, I think I might want to go. And she was interested in getting her breast reduced. And so at this point, I had really researched Almonte and everything about her, like everything. So she was like, let's go. I'm like, what? Let's go. I'm a procrastinator, so it takes me a while to warm up until I put a stamp on my ideas. But she was like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We going. Let's see when a date's available. Let's go. Well, I was already talking about going with the round 2, going to have a round 2 with 2 of my other friends. And so they were like, let's go. Well, they initially was going to go to Colombia. Well, because of COVID, Colombia was shut down. They wasn't allowing domestic flights. So they started looking into doctors, in the DR, and found a doctor that they like. So we arranged to go to DR together. But at this point, me and my friend had already bought our flights, booked our Airbnb, decided on our nurse. So they had to kind of play catch up. So when I put my deposit down for Almonte, she sent back this packet of things that I needed and advised me of the requirements coming to DR. The requirements to have this surgery. And first, okay, let's back up. My first initial surgery, I was gonna get a breast lift without implants, and then lipo on my back, my flanks, and potentially my arm. I really wanted a mommy makeover. Well, and I emailed her 55,000 times about this mommy makeover, and she kept on saying no. That's too much for the body. No. Dr. Almonte, this is the coordinator who's lovely. Dr. Almonte advises against mommy makeovers. That's too much. So now I was forced to pick my breast or my stomach, both of which need some adjustment. Well, I went with my stomach because I can always get a good bra. Her BMI requirements was a 33, and you had to have a hemo of at least 12 to have at least 1 procedure. If your hemo's higher, then she'll discuss having additional procedures. So when I say 1 procedure, tummy tuck only, lipo only, BBL only, breast lift only. If your hemo is higher, then she'll be willing to add additional procedures. I arrived in DR. We had a wonderful driver, which I will talk about later. I probably need to do an entire post about him, but he was the highlight of our trip. he spoke English, but when I say he was the gem in my entire trip. He walked us in everywhere. He communicated our needs to whoever we need to speak with. He was on time for everything. Now, shoot me down. I don't care. This can be, an inappropriate opinion, but this is my experience. Just like black folks, Dominicans are late for everything. Just like black folks. Okay? Nepper, baby, on time. He would text us in the morning and say, "Good morning." And I hear him say this, "Good morning. I'm on my way." "Okay, Nepper." 2 seconds later, "I'm here." "Damn, Nepper, you should have said that 30 minutes ago." Always was on time. Every time we had a doctor's appointment, he was outside waiting for us. The complete gem in our trip. So when we arrived in DR, we had to immediately go take our labs. Our labs consist of a COVID test. You had to pass an antibody test. And you had to do your complete blood work. You had to go see a cardiologist. And you had to see, and the cardiologist had to do EKG on you. And then you had to see a pulmonary doctor, a lung specialist, who make sure that you can breathe effectively, especially because you're going under anesthesia. I also had to put down $250 for potential blood transfusion, and I had to pay $100 worth of insurance. None of which I had to do here in Miami when I went to Miami. None. Okay. Once those labs are complete, you meet with the doctor. She goes over everything. She talks about your expectations. Dr. Almonte was so warming, so loving. Just, you don't feel like it's a transaction, even though you know it is, But, fool me, baby. Let me believe that you love me and you're going to remember who I am when I hit you next year telling you how fine I am. But she really made you feel like that. Everybody in her office speaks fluent English. And that's major when you go to a country that speaks fluent either French or Spanish. Because the majority of everybody else, you look at them and you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Google Translator is a key too. So if you're thinking about going out the country, especially to DR, download it. Trust me, you're going to need it. I met with Dr. Almonte a total of 5 times. I seen her 5 times. It might have been 6 times while I was there. In Miami, I met with Dr. DeJesus the morning of surgery and for my post-op. That's the only time I seen her. That makes a difference. I'm telling you, that makes a difference. Upon the day of surgery, you had to get there by 5:30. I went into surgery about 8:39. You have to go into recovery, and you have to stay in the hospital for 24 hours with a private nurse. You had to have a private nurse. You had to have a private nurse to be in the room with you while you stayed in the hospital. Miami, baby, they rolled me out the front door where everybody else is waiting for whatever. I'm full of blood, delusional, crying, and put me in that car and sent me to my recovery house, which, by the way, was great. My recovery house was great. I don't have any issues with my recovery house. I'm very independent, so I'm not needy like a lot of people who go into recovery houses. Hey, no mean to offend people, but as long as you feed me and give me my medicine, baby, I'm not a bother. I wasn't released from the hospital until they were able to test my blood, which I was having issues getting blood out of me, which is something that always happens. Like, my veins are really small. That has nothing to do with my trip, but I couldn't go nowhere is what I'm saying until they knew what my hemo level was. And my hemo level was like a 10, so they released me. Nepper was there waiting for me. to be released the next day. So I had my surgery like at 9:30 on Wednesday. I was released maybe noon the next day. One thing coming out of surgery, baby, anesthesia will have you. I just kept on saying, Lord, I can't stop shaking. Lord, I would like literally have to talk myself out of shaking. But, you know, if you've had surgery before, you know how that works. It had nothing to do with anything, just the fact that I hate that I was shaking. And then my nurse stayed with me for 4 days. And I'm glad, because I was going to try to be a G and not have a nurse. Baby, I need, with this tummy tuck, you need it. With a tummy tuck, you need a nurse. Not your mama who watch some type of medical show and think she got it. Baby, you need somebody to look at you and say, let me check your heart rate. Let me, you know, somebody that knows what they're doing. You need a nurse at least for the first 3 days, 24 hours. My nurse was Glenny Boo. I'll tag her in the post. I've already shouted her out. Her staff was great. Was really what I expected. I also had a chef, which helped. You don't necessarily need a chef. They have like Uber Eats and stuff. You could order food, but it just a stress that you don't need while you're there. How you gonna eat? Who you gonna, you know? Just get a chef. It was really, I think it was $25 a day, and they cooked me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I had a chef for the first 3 days. And I was just able to heal, you know, after. So I had my surgery on Wednesday. I met with Dr. Almonte again on Monday. She looked at my incision. She told me I looked really well. And I just rolled my eyes because, yeah, honestly, it's just funny to me how you would think that I'm so excited about my body and looking at it and trying on clothes, baby. I don't care. So for me, my experience in DR was way better. And the reason that I went to DR more than anything is because, just to be honest, you get more of a bang for your buck. What I paid for in Miami, I paid for. So in Miami, I paid, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I paid about $4,500 for a 360 in the BL. I paid about $4,500 in DR for a tummy tuck. This is the procedures I got. A tummy tuck, full back lipo, arm lipo, and a BBL. A little BBL. Even though that thing looking right back there. A little BBL. Because I was very content with my BBL that I received in Miami. I was good. This has always been just about me having a great waist. All the extra stuff just came along with it. But a lot of places in DR, it's not an additional expense if you get a BBL or if you don't. Well, go on, throw some back there then. And so because I told her that she did the arm lipo, that wasn't on my radar, my arm lipo. But one thing that you'll learn, and this is just something that I researched, I don't know how true it is, so my medical professionals don't need to come for me. The places that you lipo, if you do gain weight, it's less likely that the fat will go there. So I've had lipo on my arms, my thighs, my entire core. I removed the skin off of my stomach. And so the only place left is my breast and my booty. Please don't go to my breast. And so that's it. DR gets a lot of slack for their laws and their regulations when it comes to, you know, surgeries. I don't think it's DR. 100% agree it's your doctor that you pick. Period. That's here or there. Period. Research your doctor. Research your doctor. Ask questions. Reach out to other people and see what their experience is like. Don't just go on people reviews that's posted on the internet. Most people that post reviews had a negative experience. You don't see the other 50,000 other folks that had a great experience, because not a lot of people want folks to know that they even had surgery done. Me, I don't give a damn. Y'all gonna see it in about 2 months. Y'all gonna be like, the Sassy Keto Queen or Anika, because a lot of my friends that follow me is butt naked all the time. She had to have some work done. So I'm letting you know now. So you ain't got to DM somebody. You ain't got to screenshot. You ain't got to whisper. You ain't got to inquire. She had a tummy tuck. She had full lipo on her back, her arms, and she put something in her ass. Baby, there you go. Straight out the horse's mouth. I did it. My next video will be about people, because this is what I hate, but I'm going to end it, okay? Because I hate when people say, I hate it. This is my natural body. Well, unfortunately, my genetic pool doesn't allow me to but my cash do. So y'all have a wonderful day. Please pray for me. Pray for you that I get this drained out of my body. Okay? I'm going to post a questionnaire in my IG story. So if y'all have some questions, feel free to ask. And thank you guys for being so supportive, for listening to me while I rant on my reinvention.